let's talk about how you can get out of a funk, how you can kill a depression. All right. So just know it's perfectly normal to have ups and downs. And it's very important that you acknowledge when something's not okay. It's okay to not be okay. All right. But what we got to realize is how to get out of it. All right. Because it's not supposed to consume you. Life has its ups and downs so that you can appreciate when things are going very well. But you got to know how to appreciate the small things when you are in those downs as well. So this is what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about all the different ways you can make yourself feel better about what's going on in your life. All right. Because obviously what's going on in the world, it's a lot of chaotic stuff going on, and a lot of people feel some type of way, and a lot of people are not as comfortable as they feel like they should be. So let's talk about this, because I feel like this is an important subject. All right. Thing number one, give yourself something to look forward to every day. Okay. So what I really should put it as, you need to give yourself a project, a personal project in which you're being creative, okay? Creating something. This will give you something to look forward to, because as you stack those blocks, those building blocks, or whatever you want to say as far as how you're building, whatever you're building, every time you're making progress towards your goal, you're giving yourself subconscious encouragement, okay? So if you have something that you're working towards every single day, it's going to start exciting you once you start seeing the progress you're making, and it's going to give you that drive to keep going. It's going to give you something to look forward to, and you're going to be more optimistic about life because you have something that you're creating, okay? Same thing when you're dealing with a child, right? You see a little kid and you get him a pen and a piece of paper, or say a marker and a piece of paper. It's unlimited potential when you got that blank sheet of paper in front of you, right? Okay? So this blank sheet of paper in front of them has unlimited potential. That kid grabs that writing utensil and they start creating. They go with whatever feels right. Okay. If you analyze a child, you will see very quickly that they don't overthink. And a lot of the time people end up having anxiety and getting depressed and stuff because they're overthinking. But you got to know how to be in the present moment, just like a little kid. Little kids, they see something, they see an opportunity, and they seize it immediately. They're not thinking, well, what is so-and-so going to think about this? Like, their ego does not get in the way. And we got to figure out how to tune into that inner child, because we still have it in us. We just have to make sure we wake them back up, because a lot of us have put our inner child to sleep. So the biggest thing with getting rid of a depression is making sure that you got that inner child awaken you. And what the things that little kids do, they appreciate the small things. A little kid will have their mind blown by the simplest things, man. It's amazing. You could give a child a ball and they will go, wow, a ball. And they'll get so excited. You got to be that excited about life too. Okay, it's not as easy once you're used to seeing these things. But what I do personally, I find one thing and I just freak out about it in the most positive way ever. It could be an everyday thing. Like, for example, I got this amethyst crystal right here. I see this crystal. I'm like, oh, wow, look at the light reflect off of it. This is amazing. I look at all the details of it. I look at the jagged edges of it. And I look really closely at all the small details about it. This is called practicing mindfulness. When you're practicing being mindful, it gives you that appreciation of all the little things that life has to offer. Okay. So another thing that you could do it with is like, your hands, for example. If you're looking at your hands, look at all the fine details with your hands. You have wrinkles in them. You have maybe some scars. I know I got scars and stuff. And just, you can remember all of the different stories that your hands can tell. And that's why they have people like palm readers, because they know people's hands tell a big part about who somebody is. So if you just look at your hands for a little while, look at your nails, analyze why your nails look the way that they do, why you choose to clip them the way that they do, or why you choose to grow them, or what have you. It'll give you that sense of how special and how individualistic you are. Okay, so you got to embrace your individuality. Creating gives you no choice but to embrace how you are an individual, because nobody else thinks like you. Nobody's going to create whatever you're creating. Nobody's going to do it exactly like you. That's why I make music personally. That's why I write poems personally, because I know that I'm doing something that nobody else could ever duplicate. They could never do what I do. And this is the case with everybody on earth. If you have a creative idea and you start creating, whether it's painting, drawing, writing, building, whatever it is, nobody else could do it just like you. When you realize how valuable that is, that you're an individual and you have creative potential, it's easy to get out of that depression. okay? Or should I say it's easier. Mind you, depending on how deep of a depression you're in, you might need to work with someone else in order for them to get you to where you need to be. There's nothing wrong with getting help, asking for help, making a phone call to a hotline if that's what you need to do, reaching out to a professional psychiatrist, psychologist, a therapist, a counselor, a youthful advisor. Like, people like me are here to help you, okay? So keeping on with this, mindfulness is a big thing, and practicing mindfulness, you could really do this easily when you go outside. You take your behind outside, go look up in the sky. You're going to notice real quick how much life you're surrounded by. You're probably going to see birds flying. You're probably going to see planes flying. I know if you're in an area like me, you see planes flying around. You're going to see all kinds of life. You'll see the wind blowing. Yes, the wind is alive. You'll see all these trees moving and whatnot. And everybody, I call them everybody because I feel like they're alive just like me. So I'm not that much different from the trees and the wind. So if I'm looking at all of these different life forms, I'm like, wow. So all of these beings have these different shapes and forms, and they all exist. And some elements of them exist within me too. So, for example, the wind is inside of me. Every time I take a breath in, boom, the wind just went inside of me. Okay. And I'm utilizing that from my intellectual, etheric potentials. And when I have ideas of what I want to express, I'm using the wind energy in order to articulate it to you. So I'm combining all of these different elements. I'm combining the earth element, the air element, fire, etc. And this is happening every moment of your life. It's just a matter of if you acknowledge it or not. But if you really want to embrace what's going on inside of you, because of course all the answers are within. You hear all the gurus say stuff like, look within and you'll find the answers and all that stuff. Literally, just close your eyes, plug your ears, maybe even plug your nose, and just listen. You can plug both of them at the same time. If you plug one here and one here, if you do that and then you just breathe and just listen to yourself. Listen to all the sounds that happen inside of your body. It's amazing. You hear yourself swallow. You hear the breath coming in. You hear that wind spinning when it comes to your nasal canals or what have you, nasal cavities, all that stuff. And you'll start hearing your heartbeat. You'll hear your blood flow. I mean, you'll realize how much life is happening inside you also. All of these different levels of intelligence are outside of you and inside of you. Ultimately, it's really the same thing, though, because, well, everything's connected. But we already knew this. So just giving you a few more things that you can do to kill a depression. If you intentionally laugh, even if something's not funny, you'll actually turn that into real laughter. Like, have you ever been around somebody and they just start laughing and you don't know why they're laughing, but you just start laughing too? Like, what's so funny? And it's kind of contagious. If you do that, it'll actually tell your subconscious mind that things aren't so bad. So even if something's not very funny, even if you're not happy at the moment, if you intentionally go, and you just start cracking up, it's going to turn into real laughter. And before you know it, you'll be like, dang, I feel a little better now. That was kind of cool. I do that, and it helps, man. It really helps. Just laugh. Just ha, 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 ha. And get the air from way deep down in your diaphragm. And just laugh, man. You just got to laugh. Or give yourself something to actually laugh about by watching a comedy or something. Just unplug for a little while. But you got to find different ways to make yourself smile. Smiling is a superpower, okay? You can smile and you can affect somebody else's day. You can affect your own day. When you look in the mirror, smile at your own reflection. Doing stuff like this will definitely help. I kid you not. I don't want to make this video too long now, but the last thing I want to say is appreciate what you have and don't focus on what you don't have yet. Visualize what you know you want to have later, but don't focus on the fact that you don't have it. Appreciate what you have and then visualize what it is that you want to have later, and knowing that the only way you're going to be able to get the stuff that you're creating later is if you stay around and you keep watching this movie play out that we call life. You're going to give yourself something to look forward to. So you're going to keep on watching the movie. You're going to keep on living because you know that in order for you to get the things that you want over here, whether it be, well, I don't want to give any specific examples. Whatever you want later, you can have it, but you got to give it to yourself in the present moment, aka visualizing it, because your subconscious mind doesn't know that you don't have it yet. If you tell yourself you have it, it's actually going to come. It's only a matter of time. Till next time.